fantasy dwarf armies have always made me wonder one thing. Where are the women in the hold? In the old fantasy traditions, dwarf women are often somewhere offstage. Maybe they have beards, and that can be funny in small doses, but at Barak-Karandul, it's becoming a place. And if this mountain is going to feel alive, the women of the hold cannot stay offstage. I love Games Workshop dwarves. In fact, they are the backbone of this whole project, and honestly, their sculpt quality has kind of spoiled me. But they never really gave me the kind of female dwarf unit Barak-Karandul needed. So I had to go outside the range and found 5 models with the right attitude. I liked them immediately. They had weight, they had the winter character. I needed strong, hardy figures with a northern cold weather feel. Women who looked like they belonged to stone, snow, and heart fire. They did not feel like tavern girls or joke models, but they were also harder to paint than I expected. The faces and hair came first, and the details were softer than what I'm used to. That made this part of the project a little uncomfortable because I wanted them to be better than my hands were making them. So I shifted the focus away from perfection and toward the unit reading clearly together. I wanted them to belong to Barak-Karandul's colors, but still feel distinct. More winter hearth than shield wall, more feminine in shape and palette without making them feel fragile. Pale winter cloth, dark belts, practical packs, warm leather, and a palette that felt softer without making the women soft. By the time the backpacks went on, they stopped feeling like 5 separate miniatures and started feeling like people who belonged inside the hold. And that matters, because Barak-Karandul is not complete just because the walls are rising again.
For the first time, the holds feel complete.
Not quite me, lad.
So, the armor could not be bright parade metal. It needed to feel cold, practical. Steel that belonged in winter halls, stone corridors, and the inner places of the mountain. And this was also one of my first real sessions with the new 4K camera angle, and it's both a blessing and a menace. I kept having trouble with my autofocus, and so I shifted angles from what I usually do. When the autofocus cooperates, the footage is much clearer, but that sometimes it quietly betrays me in high resolution, because the 4K shows everything. Every brush mark, every rough face plane, every place where I still need to smooth out my technique. So the camera is improving, but it's also raising the standard for me. So let me know though if this is too close. Blue cloaks tie them to the snow and stone of Barak-Karandul. Leather packs and gloves kept them human. The shields and weapons remind you that the Hearth Guard are steel guards. The weapons came last, and I think they pulled the unit together. I wanted them to be icy, but not magical. Cold steel, sharpened and ready with just enough brass to catch the details. Standing together as a unit, they work. They're not your typical D&D miniatures. I intended them to be women of the inner hold, keepers of hearth, memory, order, and oath. An army can retake a gate, but it takes the Hearth Guard to make a hold live again. So, with their arrival, maybe now Barak-Karandul is closer to completion.
Looks like this hold could use a steadier hand.
Aye. It's Goblin sign. Different. Strange.